Hey everyone, how are you today? No headphones, so that should help you being able to hear me. Sorry for all the bright lights. I'm going to actually be working as I talk with you guys today, so I have a couple projects. So I just wanted to walk you through my area while we talk and discuss some nerdy news, as I've now deemed it. I know this is Close Encounters of a Geek Mind, but let's be honest, I'm both a geek and a nerd. So here's my little setup for you guys today. So I have this material here. I'm going to be turning it into a shawl. I'm very excited, or like an overshirt, more of a sheer, because I wear tank tops all the time in the summer. So I want some cool options to wear. I have this really pretty maroon color, and I have another floral pattern I'll be doing the same thing with later. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Brooke and Birds. Hey, carrot cake. I just got that for you, Carolyn. That's awesome. So, like I said, that's that little setup for you guys. I'm sorry for the movement. When I get better equipment and some more cameras, then I won't have to swivel so much. So I know that can cause people to get seasickness or a little uneasy. So I apologize in advance. I'm just going to be moving around a lot today. So there's your warning for that. Also, speaking of, no one said cats, but I thought of cats. Oh, because I said Carolyn, and I don't know why that makes me think of cats. But I did cat eyes today. Some nice sharp ones. So anyways, I have my serger out, and I always have my Juki out, my big industrial sewing machine. And then my ironing board and iron, just basic stuff. I'm not rich enough to have the fancy stuff. So anywho. So now that we're back in one place, hey Stephen, hey Ray, hey Shelly. Oh, Broken Birds, I read your comment as hey Cheryl, or not Cheryl, that's what you said, but I said in my head, I thought you said cherry. I don't know why, but I did. So anyways, how are you guys today? So there's a lot in some nerdy news. Some things that I want to focus on today, though, are the rumors that there is a potential George Lucas cut of Rise of Skywalker. I've heard this around for a while, a few months, but I have really been seeing it more and more and more, gaining more popularity. So basically, if you guys, I know most of you will know because you guys are nerdy and awesome like me, so you'll know the behind the scenes a little bit better. But when you film things, it doesn't take shape until you get into the editing room to make your story. So I guess there's 3 versions of Rise of Skywalker that could have been out. So there is the Kathleen and JJ version that we've seen. Decent, could have been better. But there's also a George Lucas version, and then there's also a Bob Iger and Bob Chapek version. So that's kind of here or there because we've not had 100% confirmed truth to that, but it's a good option. So basically, if it all comes out without admitting failure, they would release the Lucas version onto Disney Plus and let the fans decide which is the better without having to repeal canon and everything there. I really, really, really like that potential and possibility because Hayden Christensen had filmed quite a lot as Anakin. There was even a part, and it's a deleted scene, and this part is confirmed, that when Rey she did the battle with Kylo and in the desert, and she thinks that Chewie had blown up. When she gets back into the ship, she hears a voice and turns around and sees Anakin's Force Ghost, and he basically talks her through a lot of it. And he helps to teach her, which would have been amazing to see. And then throughout the movie, there was a lot more supposed to be of Anakin, which would have made a lot more sense as to Rise of Skywalker and why she might have possibly taken the name at the end instead of just, oh, well, I love, because basically it came out for a lot of people that she just took it because she loved Leia, she loved Luke, and she fell in love with Ben. that she took the name, which if she would have gotten married would have been her name, but instead she chose it as her own without that, which kind of made it. So let's see some of the comments. The real magic is done in the editing. Exactly, Ray. And then Steven, if you're doing the Snyder cut for Justice League, then they'll probably do George Lucas. Yeah. I don't like Disney for expelling the extended universe, but I'm still watching. I hate watching. Steven, I agree with you. So because I love Star Wars so much, I will always watch what they put out, even if it's crap. I'm the same way with X-Men. I will always be there. And actually, I feel that way about Doctor Who. It's too hard for me to not watch it. I'll have my opinions and I might like or not like it, but at the foundation, I have to support it in some small way. It can always be done better. But as my best friend Miranda and I always say, I didn't write it. Put my hands up. I didn't write it. So that way I feel better. If she married Ben, wouldn't her last name be Solo? It depends because we don't really confirm it. But yes, he is Ben Solo. So I guess you're right there. But he still would have the name to Skywalker. For all we know, he could take that over since Luke and Leia had passed on. We don't know. So that would be interesting. Good catch, Amanda. Thank you. That's me with Spider-Man. I know, Ray. How many times can you watch a freaking origin story? It's the same with Batman. We know how it happened. We know there's a million different ways for it to come through. Why do we need to keep hashing this out? Even people who don't know the comics know Spider-Man's origin story at this point. So let's move on, right? Let's see. I made Broken Bird with Jodie Whittaker's first season. It was rough. Yeah, I know it is rough. Like I was saying last stream, there was so much potential with Jodie, but the writing was just not there, and it hurt. It really, really hurt. It was very rough. I feel you guys. I love you guys. Okay, so now on to some more really exciting news. Since I did say X-Men, I know how much of a fan that Rogue that Amanda is, and I am, and Gina, and a lot of people love X-Men. And when they think of X-Men, they think of the animated series. Well, it is confirmed from a panel at WizardCon that they had virtually recently, that Larry Houston, one of the main producers and writers, I believe, was in talks and did have talks with Disney Plus to revive it. Not to redo it, but to revive it. So they would pick up right where it ended and to continue on, same art style and everything. Because it would be the same original art style, it would cost literally almost to nothing for Disney Plus to produce this. So it's in Disney's hands, but everybody originally associated with it said that they would come back and continue on this for the revival, which, yes, Amanda, when I read that yesterday because I wanted to get some news for you guys, because I know most of us are used to having some geeky and nerdy news on Sundays. So when I read that, I was just mind boggled and blown. I was so stoked. That means I get my real Rogue, I get my real possible Miss Marvel connection, all of it. I'm just beyond excited. Captain Larry wanted to extend the universe. I'm totally down for it. Seriously, Ray. I know you and I we go way back. We used to talk about this all the time. So it's just so exciting. So on to some other news. My last and final news topic is that Thanos is reportedly wanted in Deadpool 4. So Deadpool 3 has been waiting for production. Because of all of the virus and the way the world is right now, they haven't been able to go and actually film. So, oops, sorry, I got an itch. Real world, guys, real life. Got itches in the eyes. Anyways, so they didn't have a chance to go into production, so that's halted. I don't personally remember what they hinted for Deadpool 3, the storyline, but it's supposed to be in the works. The script's already written. It was ready for pre-production, but they can't film and go into full production because of the way the world is right now. But with Deadpool 4, they want to actually pull in Thanos and pull in the connection with Lady Death. which I am excited for, but at the same time, I'm like, you guys already did Infinity Wars, so what are you gonna do here? So basically, it's rumored to stick to the original story arc where Lady Death has a crush on Deadpool. She kind of falls for him. He's not really as interested, but he'll take it. It's Wade. Come on. And Thanos becomes infatuated with her. I think because of the snap, it could possibly eradicate the original line with his family and his kids, and it could just be that he was into impressing Lady Death and he wanted to go from here. So it's going to be interesting to see how the MCU handles the multiple universe storylines. And it's going to be interesting to see, since we did go through Infinity Wars, and it was loosely based on Infinity Gauntlet, where Thanos was courting Lady Death, and then the whole Deadpool part, and then going and through it, because Deadpool actually marries her eventually. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we go from here. So I have a crush in that avocado face too, lol. I hope they play Magic in the pilot movies. And that avocado face. So speaking of avocados, Willow and I ate a whole bunch, and every time I got some really good ones this time, some really real well-ripe ones, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, these are so good." She's something else. She's too funny. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of my little wrap up for some nerd news. We should be getting the trailer for The Mandalorian season 2 coming up soon, which I'm very excited for. I mean, come on. Mandalorian, you all know how much I love it. I'm really hoping that they do the behind the scenes again too for season 2 as well, because they're using the volume, and because it's a smaller production than usual because of how they are filming. They don't have to go onto locations, and they can keep it more of a tight set than previous. I think they might even be able to go into production very soon, hopefully, fingers crossed, for season 3, because I know season 2 is already ready. So it could just be very exciting to see where we go from here. I forgot I put new banners on. So speaking of banners, I upgraded this. So now I can stream both on YouTube and Facebook. It was a little cheaper than I thought, but I think it's very well worth the investment. And I'm not paying very much of it out of pocket because of my amazing 2 Patreons so far, Amanda and Carrie. So you guys are basically helping me to do this for you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to get some more animation going, and I'll be able to make this look even more professional and awesome. I'm wanting to get some thumbnails and some background images. So hopefully I'll be able to get into that. But yeah, so swinging back into Mandalorian. I'm sorry, guys. You know I'm all over the place all the time, but we'll get through it. We'll get there eventually. So yeah, I'm just through the moon, excited for season 2. I'm really glad that they were able to finish all the way through right before, the 9 months that we're in of pandemic mode. So it's very exciting. Ray pixel art. I'm thinking about it. I do know that I want to have a cartoon version of my face for all my thumbnails. That's in the works. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it or reaching out to see if I can collaborate with somebody. And I do want to have some minor graphics. So like the initials of the channel, just some letters and a really cool background with it, with my spaceship. That's kind of some of the things that I want for that. And then as far as for streaming, just, having some banners. So I'm pretty excited for that. As far as helping in any way that you can, really, if you sign up for Patreon, even if it's $3 to $5 a month, whatever you can do, it doesn't have to be anything big. It helps a lot, especially because part of this channel is the content that I make. So coming up is a video for Harry Potter. And my Patreons got to find out yesterday who that's going to be. I'm very excited. I already have this script pretty much done, like more than halfway done. I would say closer to done. So I'm doing it in a different way that I did Ahsoka, just because I learned some things from there. So I have the main part of who I'm writing about done, and then I'm gonna write my favorite highlights of his, and then going through and doing like achievements or why people else might have there. I'm gonna go like I did with Ahsoka and go through and have some of the some fan art and all of those things. Make sure to give credit to where credit is due, make sure all those artists are listed. And, but I'm also going to record myself as well, because I think it would be good to have it broken up. You guys get to see this face and then some fan art as well. I really do like that. I feel like when I get to just talk to you guys, have a conversation, I can edit it down a little, but I really don't usually need to. I learned that with the Ahsoka tutorials I was doing. As long as I have a general thing that I want to say, I really don't have to edit as much. I don't say as much, because I know I say that a lot, or and I just generally have a better path. So very excited. Let's see. Amanda says, shameless plug, make sure to head over to the safe group Broken Birds for a weekly mental health thread, not video. So yeah, Amanda and I do have that as well. I'll put that on there for you guys. It is pinned as an announcement on my Facebook group. It's very important to me to support everybody through their mental health and to get everything through there. So yes, thank you, Amanda. It's not shameless. I would have plugged it eventually. So thank you for putting that in there. And Ray, yes, cough, cough, pixel artist. If you want, I'll claim one of those favors for helping you get through 6th grade. If you want to, that would be awesome. And definitely check out the Patreon. You don't even have to be a full member. If you follow me, that would be great too. You get some basic versions of the announcements. So you won't know the full thing, but you'll get to know some of it and get caught up on there. I just really like to grow communities. I love bringing togetherness and you guys together. A lot of you know that. So I would be very well looking forward into that. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, so books. I'm thinking of creating a book club and doing it also maybe once a week live, and having a couple people come talk to me, or talk with me, on here, and going over some books. And I'm going to create a poll for you guys. I'm writing it down literally right now. See, notebook, pen, so I don't forget, because I know I promised links before and forgot. So doing it now. Book club. And we're going to do poll. I want to see what kind of books you guys want to do. I actually just finished the first book in the Harry Dresden series in the last few days. I love him. They tried to do a show. It was not that bad, but because of where TV was when it was released, I think it was around either 2007 or 2011 where they did the show. And though Geek Sphere was coming through and Geek Sphere was coming through. We were getting more cool fantasy sci-fi shows, but they just hadn't gotten too much momentum. Whereas now that's like all we have because we've taken over, let's face it. So Harry Dresden's really, really good. He's a magician, wizard. His dad was the magician. But anyways, so he deals with a lot of the supernatural stuff there. And it's just really interesting because I was talking about Anita Blake a lot. I was like, oh, what about Harry Dresden? They're very similar worlds. One, it's legal to be a vampire, and the other it's not, but all these other things. Anyways, so Harry Dresden's really awesome. Also, I started the very first book in the Anita Blake series because I was talking about her so much and I missed her. So I've started that, and I think it would be really cool for us to go through that. We can always do Harry Potter. We can always do Witcher, which we already did. We could continue that. We could do, I think Cursed had a book, didn't it? We could do that. there's a lot of stuff. So I'll put my first couple in the poll. I'll make it to where you guys can add suggestions and we'll vote. I'll leave that up for the rest of the month, and then we'll revisit it in September, and then we'll see what we want to go from there. Also, I want to put a poll up there for you guys for what we want to do for our theme for next month, for September. So by theme, I mean like right now, August is Harry Potter month, so I have 2 characters from Harry Potter that I'm going to be highlighting, and the first one will come out on the 13th, which is Thursday. So I'm very excited for that. Again, my Patreons know who it is, and I'm just through the moon for this. If there's your little hint. So I'm definitely wanting to go. Sorry, I got caught up in your comments, and then I was like, oh, there goes my thoughts. I'm just very excited to see where we're going with this. The page is growing. Don't forget to bring your friends. Make this as big of a community as we can. I mean, like Nerdist level. Let's do it. Why not? I just really want to have a great community with great people, and yeah, I just want to bring a lot of cool stuff to you guys. Let's look at some comments. I'm going back to my 20s and reading the new Hunger Games book and Twilight's book, Broken Birds. It's so funny because I always forget that there's that age difference. So I'm like, wait, it was the teens. It wasn't 20s. It wasn't that soon. I'm like, duh. We might act the same age, but we're not. But yeah, no, those books were really good. My best friend just finished those, and I'm more than willing. You know, let's take it to a vote and to a poll, and we'll see what we come up with. No photo usually something I found on Google. Well, if you want to reach out to Ray Amanda, I'm very sure that he can help you with the Broken Birds design. He's a really good designer. He's a very good artist, very sweet soul, one of my best friends from a long time ago. So I'm sure we can get that taken care of. Through the moon door for it. But yeah, so moving on from there, I promised you guys some project discussion. So I have this really cute little TARDIS, if you guys can see it. I used to wear it all the time. It was on a metal keychain, and the keychain broke, or not keychain, but neck chain broke. And I'm going to be using some thread. I want all the colors, so I have to find some really fun knots. And then Willow got this really cute cat pin for free when I ordered all her Ahsoka beads. So I'm going to make her a necklace. And then we found these really cool rings. I think they were buttons of some type. So I'm going to make necklaces and maybe bracelets out of those because she likes to have matching things with mom. So those are kind of some awesome things we can do there. Yeah, and now I'm going to start cutting out some pattern things and kind of just walk you through what I'm doing. So if I get quiet, I'm sorry. I get this way when I sew, but definitely keep it on in the chat, you guys. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sewing lessons with Ellie. Yeah, so things like this where the patterns don't necessarily matter or I've done it a lot, I will free cut. Let me go pull a shawl real quick. So this guy here, is a store-bought one that I'm basically making, and it's literally just a box on each side, and I've made like 4 of them before. So now I'm just kind of tweaking the pattern a little bit. I'm giving it more curve just to fit a little bit better. Yeah, I just, though I liked it, it doesn't sit right. I'm constantly adjusting it. So I figure, hey, why not? Let's let's update it. And then I can just kind of show you guys what I'm doing as I'm going. All right. So sometimes when I get in a pickle like this where a side is bigger than the other, I'll just kind of fold it over and then match the sides so then I know it's the same distance. But yeah, I like to do these with shears in the summer. It's cooler. Then I don't necessarily like showing my arms. Not that there's really anything wrong with my arms. I just don't like, showing them all the time. So when I wear tank tops and I don't feel like wearing a real shirt, I'll just throw one of these guys on and proceed through my day. It's a cool little mom hack without having to, buy something. These guys, so it kills me. And if you guys want me to have them available, I won't make them as expensive because it really doesn't cost me very much to make them, and I can put them up on my Patreon or create a thing for you guys. These usually go for like anywhere between $10 to $30, depending on if you get trim with them or anything like that. And I just think that's ridiculous because most of the time the material costs like $2. It's not expensive. It takes like maybe 20 to 30 minutes to do the whole project. So I don't understand the sense in charging that. I mean, yes, you have to make a profit and whatever, but when you mainstream sell like that, you go through a warehouse, you have a lot of stock, and you're going to be selling it multiple places, you're going to get your profit. You're going to make back what you spend on making it. So I just don't see, also probably why I don't make money, I just don't see charging people out the yin-yang for something that's not that difficult. Oh, I didn't keep this like this. Okay. Do that. Okay. So effectively, I have a shirt ready, and I could even almost wear it for you guys. I'm gonna tilt this up. So this would fit me kind of like this. Oh, so there goes the lighting. There you go, like that. So it would be just a cool little shirt. It's gonna come in, and all I gotta do is sew it. I'm like the geeky homegirl on camera right now. I enjoy drawing and animating, so I won't be charging anyone. Yeah, it's just so hard, like I want to make my art my life and possibly my business, but I learned from my grandma a long time ago to keep your passions away from work as much as you can. Like if they intersect a little bit, that's okay. So for example, I sew a lot of wheelchair covers, like I told you guys. Sometimes I help with the rosin bags or the bubble bags, and I sew pillow covers, all that kind of stuff. So I'm still sewing, but I'm not sewing what I love, which is like garments and stuff. So it's keeping that distance away, because sometimes when you have to do it so much and you lose the soul of it, the passion just can go. And I don't ever think or want to ever get tired of sewing. So I try to keep them a little separate. But at the same time, it's like I'm going to be sewing regardless. And I have such a huge craft stash. You guys have seen it. So it's hard for me to want to charge that for people. But at the same time, now have been in this business long enough that I know my worth. And if you're not a close friend for me, which even then, so for example, I'll give you the example of my sister, Brandy. Love her to death. I'm surprised she's not on here. She does have a pretty busy life, so there's that. But anyways, so I make stuff for summer, And when I make things for summer, my sister will buy the materials and she will pay for shipping. And because it's my niece, I discount my time a lot. And it's my niece. I would have made it for her anyway. So I give them a really good deal because she's my niece and my sister, but she also makes sure to pay me for what she thinks that I'm worth because I'll undercut her. So she always pays me a little more. She loves me. But she's also paying for her material and shipping. So she understands that though I love her, I won't have what her daughter wants sitting in my closet. So I have to pay for that. And she knows that it takes time and I do work, so that can cut out of that. So it's nice having somebody basically reaffirm that you are worth something. So kind of juggling that. And there are certain things that and I'm not going to do without getting paid for, and I'm very honest for it, and I'm very honest about my worth on the project. But if it's something that I was going to make anyways, or I would make a huge batch for, that's when it gets complicated. So, so cute. And you add, yeah, you can add a waist belt to that if you'd like. I just usually wear it without one. I just kind of let it go loose. With this specific thing, hold on just a second. I have some really cute like elastic that I can cut in half. So this one right here, the reason why I tapered it is because when it gets boxy, let's see. Let me take the banner off so you guys can see this a little bit better. Okay. Oh, I don't want nerdy news right now. We'll do the let's start sewing. So see, it gets really boxy right here. That's the whole sleeve. And then this is just the side hem right here. It's really small. So it can get boxy and it gets caught on things a lot, but it looks cute on. So for that elastic, I took the seam up on the new one. So my sleeve will probably go to about here. And then right about here is where I'm going to put the elastic to draw it in. So it'll kind of draw in. I know you can't see too well. My lighting sucks. I'm sorry about that. But that's kind of my plan on the red one. I'm really excited for that part. Yeah, I know, Amanda. You're awesome that way too. But you've also worked with other designers before, and you understand through doing your home cosplays, the cost and the time and energy that goes into it. So you're more likely of a person to want to pay for something. That's also something I have to say about the cosplay community. When they have gone through it and when they're not too green, they know quality and they know the time and effort it's going to take. So they're more than willing usually to pay for the product because it is a lot of hard work and time. People that are really green or who haven't gone through that just really don't understand. And I hate to say it, but they take advantage of their friends and family that know how to do that. They just expect, to have it done. Like, for example, I follow this group and it's like DIY makers and stuff. That's not the name, but it's very similar. Talking about party planning, and because of COVID, they weren't willing as much for the event that she was trying to get this person to make for her or throw for her. And she was basically only willing to pay for her for materials, not for profit, not for her time, none of that, just basically for materials. And I was very proud of this maker because she basically told her, you know what, you're going to have to do it yourself then, unfortunately, because it's not worth my time. And literally what you're willing to pay me is just for cost. So yeah, there's just not it's a give and take. So there's her. Tinkerbell11, hey, how are you? I think it's absolutely legit to charge for your time without having to apologize for it. Your time is precious too. Exactly. That's kind of my point. So if you're willing to sell for it, if you know that that's because it's your business, definitely do not undercut yourself. It's when you would have, it's like when it's family and you would have made it for them anyways. That's just for me. That's when it's hard. But like at the level of, if I'm wanting to make it for you, I probably won't charge you. And if you pay me for it anyways, that's cool. We can talk about it. But when you assume that I'm going to make you something when I've never told you that I would, and you just think I'm going to do it for you for free, that's a no-go. I won't ever do that. Yeah, I can't. I might undercut a little bit if I know that you're struggling and you really need help. I'll help you there. But at the end of the day, you know, if it's business, it's business. And you just got to take it, you know, you take it with a grain of salt. Also, huge thanks and kudo points to Amanda for going back and forth through YouTube and Facebook. She's my moderator on both sides. So thank you. Awesome. Definitely true. So anywho, we're going to get some noisy spots here, but I'm going to take you over to my sewing area. Can you guys see that pretty well? Hopefully it won't be too much in the way. I'm going to go ahead and serge this. So usually when you have material like this, you will usually do a French seam. It's cleaner, nicer. It's more professional looking. But if you don't have time or energy or the want, most of the time it gets serged. Because I didn't cut this with too much of a seam allowance, I'm just serging it. It's gonna look just nice anyway. And if anything, I might just backwards French seam. So basically a French seam is an enclosed seam. So you have your two joining sides and then you flip it together and sew it again. And it creates like this nice little tube. And when you do a serge, it just takes the one step out. But honestly, I really don't think I'm going to get too fancy. So sample my late Lucky Alice dress completely commissioned, and it cost shipping about $300. That she surprised the heck out of me with amazing fabric. Only thing I made for that cosplay were the ears. Yeah, you did the hard part. You you commissioned her for a dress with awesome fabric. That's the other thing, is fabric is almost a make or break. Sometimes, you know, the sewing could, like, this is gonna take me like maybe, we'll see, probably like 15-20 minutes. I always undercut myself. I always forget, but it's not going to take me very long. So the time isn't necessarily worth it. But if, like, I spent $2 for 2 yards on this, I did not spend any money on this. But if I did, if it was really expensive, nice, like chiffon or something, that's, you know, you just weigh your costs. It's kind of like if you were to do watercolor pencil versus like really nice watercolor art, you have to pay for your materials, right? So watercolor pencils are not that expensive, so cutting your costs there is not too bad. But watercolor itself, the paints, if you're doing really good quality, it can get really expensive. Or like oil for versus acrylic, you know, you just kind of learn to weigh it. But people that don't make art don't understand that. I saw a meme earlier, and it was kind of like this whole wall, right, of art supplies, and it says what people think artists can get for $100, and then underneath it showed like 3 paintbrushes and a tube of paint, and it said what artists actually get for $100. You know, you use your money where you want. Obviously, there's deals, there's coupons, but people that don't invest in it don't understand the time and effort and energy and actual skill that it could take to make something. Yes, what Amanda said. Please go over to my YouTube page and show me some love. That would be awesome. Facebook is easier to get some views because that's where all of my lovelies are, most of you guys. And YouTube requires 4,000 hours watched and accumulated. So it could be the same video shown over and over and over again to get those hours. I don't have very many, but that would be great. Facebook is just easier because, you know, people will watch it regardless. So, which is awesome. Oh, wow. So this is the YouTube side of things. Purple Gamer, yeah. It's a little different. Trying to keep it all going. Oh, it's Ray. Hey, Ray. Need that link. Oh, yes, Corey. My brother down there, legit brother. Sometimes supporter of things. I'm just kidding. He's always supporting me.
Need that.
Let me get that link for you. I'm sure Amanda's already on it, but I'll get the link. I told you she'd be on it. Pasting it anyway. I think she sent, nope, same link. Or I did it twice. Yeah, we did the same link, but it's fine. So I will go ahead and get to sewing since I've talked your guys' ear off. I got to figure out which side I'm going to do, but yeah, show some love to each other in the comments and I'll come back and read some. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just serge the entire thing. It's just going to make life easier. And it'll make the hems a lot easier too. All right, turn this on. And here we go. Oh, where's my presser foot? All right. Oh, crap. So I guess I didn't change it from my other project and now it's gathering. So I'm not going to sew for very long because this is going to be a bitch and a half to take out. I guess we can talk while I do it. Just a second, guys. All right. So what I mean is the tension was really strong. See? And it gathered it all. Oh, well, I guess I don't have to take it two out. So that's the cool thing with serging. As long as your material is good, usually you can kind of stretch it out a little bit and make it work. Just means I got to change my tension. Getting all technical and stuff over here for you guys. Broke it already. No, Ray, I didn't break it. So fun thing about Ray, he knew me when I used to get stitches all the time, and I would literally, I've not broken a bone, but he knew how klutzy I was and how many stitches I've gotten and things like that. So he knows literally the extent in real life how klutzy I am, aside from Corey, because obviously he's my brother. He's seen some shit. So. Oh, it looks like me trying to show a straight line and the bobbin breaks. Okay, so that is the one thing about sewing that sucks ass. Okay, so you'll be sewing and it's great and you're in a rhythm and you're going awesome. And then you wander out of bobbin thread. And like if you're like me, you forget to put one. So on industrials, they have this really awesome system right here where you can put a bobbin in and it runs back here and goes up. And you can have a thread going. So while you're sewing, right, it's also running your bobbin. I forget to do that every single time and I'll run out. I'll get pissed because I'll crap it on bobbin thread and be like, oh, well, I was making a bobbin as I was going and not have one. Literally, the struggle is real for all sewers. I don't know a seamstress that doesn't do that at least once or twice on a project. Like, that's how real this is. I'll donate to the hashtag. Hashtag F this bobbin. Oh, that bobbin thing is cool. I know. That was one of my favorite things I learned about when I figured out an industrial machine. The nerdiness goes strong in this one. I'm at work too, by the way, just listening to you on the side. You listen to me on the side anyways. I don't know how many phone conversations when you worked at the freaking furniture place that we'd be on the phone and you'd be working. I don't know how many times you've done that. So, anywho. I've spotted a willow. She's trying to run. There she is. Hey, look up. They see you. She goes.
Mom, may I please have one paper of yours?
No.
Yes.
No.
Please, I won't.
That's a mini Ellen. Yeah. Oh. Ray, my daughter just turned 4. She's 4th of July baby. So firecrackers galore. So I'm going to adjust this and give you guys a better view of my sewing machines. There you go. So my favorite thing I saw at work, it was my favorite coworker, Dave, has a magnet on his machine because we use metal nippers at work. And I'm always dropping mine on the floor because I'll leave them like here on the side or here by the back stitch. And I drop them. And so when I saw his things, I can just do that. And I can like nip away, right? Nip, nip, nip. And just, oh, it's glorious. Oh man, the things that I live for. I don't know if it's sad or good, but all right, let's loosen this tension. Okay, so one of the cooler things is if you have a piece of scrap fabric, test it first. I should have done that, but I'm so excited to sew with you guys on live that I forgot. Oh, well, happy birthday to your little man there, Ray. That's awesome. Okay, so I changed my tension. Let's see how this goes. Let's see. So this is more of what you want. See? Ta-da! And I figure since it's a pretty maroon, like a plummy maroon, black would look really good on it. So now that that works, I'm going to go ahead and actually pull out what I started and then go from there. Around scissors to what a world we live in. So speaking of scissors, some of you guys may have already heard this story, but what was it? Almost 4 months ago now. Willow, no, not even 4 months, maybe 2 months. Her hair grows really fast, so I'm not sure. Willow was helping me make masks. And by helping, I gave her my nippers and she'd cut up my scraps to make for baby masks. And she got really, really good with the nippers. They're the side nippers, not these ones, which are more like traditional scissors. But these ones are sharper and pointier, so I don't let her use them. I let her use the other ones. Well, she'd been wanting to cut her hair for like 2 weeks. And I was like, we'll get there. I'll take you. It's all good. Or I'll cut your hair. It's fine. Just to trim it. I'm at work and Justin wakes up to her with like basically all this gone. So this is how her hair looks. And he thought it was back. No, she cut it all off on her own with nippers. I don't know how she did it because that's hard as hell. But this girl, I shouldn't have put that idea in her head. I miss her hair. Anyways, I laughed, but my husband is still very heartbroken. What does the serger do? Create a hem? Okay, so no, what the serger does is on this material, I really don't need to serge it because it's not falling apart or fraying. But so right here, that edge right there, because this material is a knit, it will not come undone. But if it was woven, so like woven, sometimes those fray really bad. And so when you serge it, it just makes it to where you have a nice seam on the end and that it's not going to fall apart. I don't have anything that's woven. Yeah, I don't, all my stuff by me is knit, or I would show you what I mean. But basically it just keeps it from falling apart. So then while you're sewing it, you're not losing anything. Or with like heavy knits, it's good because then it's not going to weigh itself down as well. It can keep it from shrinking and stuff. So it just really keeps your seam where you want it. That's a very good question. Thanks, Amanda. Put that up on there. That was a really good question. I don't get that. I get asked that very often. I think I'll put a thing down there as well on Close Encounters on the group page. to ask me sewing questions, because I love sharing my knowledge, and it keeps me very in practice, if you will. It keeps my knowledge pretty sharp. So anywho, I'm gonna find that the serge actually doesn't look that very bad. You can also go over it, which is probably what I'll do, and just keep going from there. All right. See, Mozart at its finest, really. The number of the pedals you have must look like having sewing machine piano. That's kind of true. So look, down here, there's a giant foot, and oh, there we go. That's for the main machine. And then the one next to it, the tiny little one, I don't know if you could see it, says electronic. That's for the serger. So I only have two right now. But on a traditional serger, it looks very similar to the industrial straight stitch, but it has two pedals, and one pedal looks like an actual gas foot, and that lifts up so this lever here lifts my foot, which guides your material. That's what that does. Whereas on an industrial sewing straight stitch, you have right here, it's like a little leg pedal. That's what lifts your foot on those machines. So it's really funny going back and forth, and then you forget, oh crap, not my hip. I'm not using my leg. I need to use my foot. It can get quite interesting. So it's really funny that you guys bring up Mozart and music and stuff, specifically between Ray, because Ray actually was in band with me when I was in percussions. So I'm pretty sure, and he knew how nerdy I was to sew. So it's just really funny, well-rounded 360 comment. Not that you meant to, but it's really funny. All right, so I'm almost done. So I'll get to sewing this and then I'll show you guys how I pin it. I basically am just gonna go ahead and make this whole thing while I'm talking to you guys because I think it's just fun to show you my process and to see how something's made. It kind of just puts that connection into perspective. So here I go. So this is gonna get fun because it's a curve. I'm at the neckline. So here we go. All right, and there we have it. She's all surged. Let's see. What you guys saying? What you guys saying? Let's see. I can't wait to walk again and start messing with my new machine. Wish you could be here to show me everything. What would you suggest would be a good beginner thing to sew without a pattern? It just depends because I know that you have an embroidery machine. So, beginner without a pattern, probably a pillow. That's honestly in most beginner classes, that's what you learn because it's just a square. You can do start with just your 2 squares, fold it, sew the seams, leave a little bit open so you can turn it around. And then when you get confident in that, then do a bunch of little squares, kind of like a quilt, and then sew those together to make your big square. Do the same on the other side and go from there. It's probably going to be the best idea. Just a second, because it's getting noisy in here. Okay, mom business done. Sorry, guys. Let's see. More questions. To summarize what she said about her setup, they're about to do a drop fire mixtape called 28 Threads of Ellie featuring the Surger. I mean, it does sound like music sometimes. Let's see. With a serger, do you need to go forward and backward to lock a stitch like you do a regular machine? No, not at all. So there's 4. So this is the serger here. There's 4 different loops. And then on here, there's 2 needles. So if you see, hold on, let me get a piece off and I can show you. Okay. One that doesn't look like crap. Okay, so with the serger, what it does is it weaves itself so it has a loop, and then another loop that goes the other way, and then it has one that keeps it together that goes straight, and then on some machines, it'll have an extra stitch just to give you a stitch. Not all sergers are created equal, and some are set up to do other different things. Mine is just a regular serger, so it wants a straight fabric to loop over. One of the sergers we have at work, it folds in the sides, so it gives you a roll to create just a more cleaner look. Just depends on what you want. But basically, this is the stitch that you get out of it. So oops, here, let me straighten it out. See? Do the hand thing. There we go. So basically, it encloses your seam at the very end. So you don't backstitch and you can just go straight forward. It's just to keep everything from unraveling. The cool thing about a serger is you can serge 2 pieces together like this, kind of like a book, right? And you can sew them together. But you have to, there's a knife on there and it will cut the edge. So you have to take that knife off and then you can go in the middle, kind of like boxer shorts, how they have that, it's a serge. It has that extra little stitch with all the extra stuff on it. You can do that. And then, or you can keep the knife on and it will just cut off all the extra fabric you don't need. Like say if you cut wobbly and you knew it and you had pins to line it, you could serge it and it will make that cut for you and it'll just enclose your seam at the end. Or I shouldn't say seam, the fabric, the end of your fabric. It just keeps it all together. And then, so there's a lot of different ways. So like I just serged my shirt, so it was all one piece. I serged the whole thing. So what I could have done instead was sewn the side seams and then did the serge to keep it together. So the side seams when pulled wouldn't come apart. I don't really need to do that. I have my, industrial machine. I trust my seams. I think I'll be fine. So I'm not going to do that. But if I was manufacturing it or something, I would want that, which is also the positive to doing a French seam. So you would enclose it. So when you pull, it doesn't unravel or come apart. It just looks cleaner. So yeah, there's some really awesome things. It is pretty badass for sewing. I really like my serger. The cool thing too is if you wanted to join seams without even having to use your straight stitch machine, you could do that easily. Actually, I'll show you. So we'll take this piece here and I'm going to fold it in half and I'll serge the sides together. if I was to fold this out, it would give you a nice seam. See? Ta-da! And then I wouldn't have it. So when I'm talking about a French seam, how this is folded inside, I would literally just sew down here, and that's a French seam basically. I'm not going to do that. I don't have time. But now if I wanted to do this and leave it, I could, because it's not, see, just like a normal seam. It's not going to come apart. At most, actually, I want to say 90% of children's clothing are sewn on a serger because it cuts out a step and it cuts out material costs. So you're not paying for any more extra thread, any labor. You're just paying the serger to serge it together. And there's an all stitch, which is like the hem on pants, where on one side it looks like you just had a regular stitch, and on the inside it looks like a serge. Those are the two things that they do on children's clothing, whereas adult clothing will add the straight stitch in because they figure adults will need that wear and tear, when it's actually opposite. The kids probably would, but because kids grow so fast, they don't take the time to make their clothes last, because chances are they're only going to be in them for a few months, if not possibly a year, and then they have to change. So it's definitely a pretty cool industry to really research. It makes the clothing choice, like the pricing choices and stuff, make more sense when you know where your costs are getting cut and all that jazz. So definitely, if you guys know a home sewer or someone that makes their own clothes and or for people and sells them, support them. Chances are you're going to have a better, well-made garment. It's made with love. You know that they're not under stressful, harsh conditions like some warehouse manufacturers and stuff. It's just better. And then you support a local business, because that's technically their local business. So I got to bounce. Have a good rest of your stream. Amanda, I'll hit you up later regarding the pixels. Bye, Ray. Thanks for stopping in for so long. That's awesome. I very much appreciate it. And I appreciate you going over from Facebook to YouTube to like and subscribe. That was awesome. Again, I thank you. But yeah, so now that we have this part all done, I'm going to go ahead and pin it up. Do you guys want me to finish sewing it? You guys seem to enjoy it a lot. So on haute couture, Amanda, that actually means, so not the exact translation, but what haute couture is 100% hand sewn. That's why it's so expensive, because hand sewing takes longer. Usually there's beads involved. Everything that's sewn on a haute couture garment is 100% hand sewn, which is why it's so expensive and why it's so exclusive, because it's only like one or two pieces, and like they might make two of the same thing, if that. It's very custom most of the time. Very expensive materials, very expensive work in general going on. Sometimes it's one person, sometimes it's 4 or 5 people on one gown, depending on what it is that you make. But yeah, haute couture is its own ball game. Most of the time when you see haute couture, it's actually not, because haute couture is like a very exclusive club, and I think they only let in like 6 legit design houses to be under the label of haute couture. So you can be couture, which is mostly hand sewn and whatever, and all hand and custom. But to get that label, it's like extremely exclusive. You can call yourself that, but it's not. It won't in the industry carry the weight. If you're dealing with professionals. Now, if you're on Etsy or you have your own shop and on Pinterest or whatever, and you call yourself haute couture, because it's already in people's minds of what that could be, that does carry some weight, but is legit business, not the back doorway. It's not quite the same. Even the hem is hand sewn. Yes, even the hands are hand sewn. And trust me, that's a lot of fucking work, especially because most hems are so the stitch goes It's like a zigzag, so you sew straight and down, and then you come back in. It looks like a V. And you can get really fast at it, but it does take a long time. And most hems are like 200 inches plus, because you think of all of the gown width. They're big. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I know you're not going anywhere, Amanda. I know you'll watch me do whatever. You'll watch me breathe because you miss me so much, but let's be honest. So I now have to find my pins, so this is going to be fun. But yeah, so far, thanks for sticking with me. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about before I try to find some pins? Anything at all? We're an hour and 10 minutes in here, so I should probably grab some water. It's probably a good idea. Let's see. Oh, I got Willow into Chuck. I know I posted that, but oh my gosh, Willow is so cute. So as you guys know, there's many actors that cross genre, cross shows. Usually if you're in something nerdy once, you're going to be included in it forever, or fantastical or things like that. And so we had just watched The Librarians, which you guys know, and the actor that plays Jenkins is in an episode of Chuck, and Willow got so unbelievably excited, like so excited. She's like, Mom, that's Jenkins. Mom, Jenkins is in Chuck. Oh my God, this is awesome. And she did it. Justin was watching a comedian, and I'm sorry, I forget his name, but he is the manager in Chuck. He's a black gentleman, and he's hilarious. I know his last name is Lawrence. He has Justin jokes, he has 3 first names, and I remember the Christopher Lawrence part. I just don't remember his first name. I think it's Robert. Christopher Lawrence. Anyways, Willow saw him, and she goes, Mom, Dad, he's the manager in Chuck. And she gets very excited. She recognizes faces very, very quickly. It was very fun. So that's kind of what we're watching there. If you guys like animated shows, you should really, 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 really watch the Tales of Arcadia series. There's 3 parts. There is just Tales of Arcadia, Troll Hunters. There's the it's a space one. I forget which one it is, but that one's really good. And then there is now Wizards. There's a 3-part. It's all by Guillermo del Toro on Netflix. It's really, really good. And I know with Cursed, we've all been on like a Merlin kick and all that good stuff. And the Wizards deals with that. But it's in its own way. And it's very, very cute. Anyways, that's one of Willow's absolute favorite shows. She's so beyond in love with that. And I think you guys would really appreciate it too. But that's something else that we've been watching. Again, I've been listening to audiobooks, kind of getting into my music again, since you guys keep asking me about it. Really, really appreciate it. Today I'm wearing a Sublime shirt because I figured, hey, we talked about music last week, so, why not, right? So, yeah, let me find some pins, and we'll definitely get into that. Umbrella Academy. I have a weird thing for Klaus. Klaus is amazing. He's so funny, and so he's just trying to be sweet and live his life, and he's very narcissistic, but he's so sweet at the same time, and he's just a sweet soul. I love Klaus. Definitely put that on there. I still haven't finished it. We were thinking of finishing it yesterday, but I just didn't have the energy. So I'll probably finish that tomorrow or Tuesday with Justin. I definitely want to talk about it because it is really good. And I love the time period jump. And I love that they didn't ignore anything big. They just went really big into it, like the civil rights movement and JFK's assassination. And they were in Dallas and they showed some sit-ins. Being a history buff, I just love it. It spoke really well to the social climate of now without having an overabundance of commentary. I think that's the way you should handle it. Mention it, talk about it, involve it, but don't get preachy, and I think Umbrella Academy really held that well. It was very held in tradition with comics, because comics tackle all of those ideas. Heck, that's why X-Men was invented, was a commentary on the civil rights, but without being preachy. It lets you make up your own mind. It gives you both sides. Now, obviously, it's going to weigh heavily more on one side than the other, because that's just what happens. Your point of view is going to get in there, but I really like how Umbrella Academy handled it, without being too over the top, like aggressive preaching in your face. I think that's the difference with all of that. You can want change and want great awareness for your cause all day, and I'm all for it. But when you get preachy at me, that's when it's not. Like, I'll talk all day about my opinions on anything political, anything religious on someone. But the second that you try to force me to believe what you want, and it's not a conversation anymore, you're more being demeaning, that's when I check out. And I feel like that's a lost art. People don't know how to do that very much anymore. It's coming back, people are trying, but I really think that it's a dying art. Steven says, unlike Doctor Who, exactly, unfortunately. I think they had the best of intentions, but some people just don't know how to hold back. So that's part of why our group, I take the politics out of it, and some of the religious out of it, because like I said, some people just don't know how to have that conversation without getting really, they're too close to it. People can get offended very easily. And then they can just really react in not the best of ways. And I mean, I'm no different. Sometimes I get that way. I can be very level-headed, but we all have our buttons, and I just don't want to force that upon anybody. So if I take it out of the mix, that's what regular Facebook is for. Our group is a oasis of sorts, I'll say. So anyways, I will find these pins and we will get started on getting this finished. Like I said, it doesn't take me very long at all. I just want to know where my side seams are so I can go ahead and sew like the collar seam and just get all of it prepped and ready, and I can wear it tomorrow for work. So let's get on to this. All right. So sometimes after I get things like this ready, I will iron them. But because of the nature of this fabric, I really don't think I will iron this. I just don't want to burn it or, ruin it in any way. That would be sad. So let's see. All right. I really like the choice of the dark serge on this material because I have these really cute tassels I might put along the bottom. Let me see if I have them close. See, some cute little just regular tassels. I like that. I like having a little fringe and stuff on the ends, but we'll see. We'll see. Right. I think Willow's back there trying to be a kitty. She was supposed to go back in my room and play on her game, but now she is playing pretend in her room. Nothing necessarily wrong with that, but she knows I'm streaming. Okay, so I got my layout done. See? So I will be pinning along the sides so I know what I'm going to sew. And then I will go through. I'll probably sew the sides first, and then I'll go through and do all the major seam hems. Adios, all. headset time. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us for so long, Carolyn. It was awesome. I very much appreciate it. This video is going to also be on the Facebook page, so you can watch the rest of it or go back on YouTube and start where you left off. So thank you for joining, and I will have pictures of this for you to see when I'm done. Bye, guys. Well, the ones that are leaving. So yeah, let's get started on that. If you guys think I'm being boring at all, please let me know and we'll change it up to something else. I know I get quiet when I get into sewing, so. Okay. All right, got my pen. So is there anything that you guys would like to talk about? Any ideas for book club that you might have? Amanda, Steven, maybe? I think you guys are the only two still here. Oh. I'd like to go back to Witcher badly. Without spoilers, we need to get to the ending. Yes. Okay. So I only have the Witcher books on audio, but I am so down. Especially since season 2 was announced. And maybe I can get Kyle to come along from Fandom Media because I know Witcher's his thing. I know he has a pretty tight schedule, but I think that would be really fun to kind of cross-platform that. I'm here too, just doing things while I listen. Well, I'm glad you're still here, Tinkerbell, because I only see 2 watchers, and I know that Steven pops in and out, so I wasn't sure. Oh. Hey, man, if it's just you 2, I don't care either way. I'd be doing this regardless, so it's fun to have someone to talk to while I sew. So, yeah, no, I think it would be because he's playing the game and he does his walkthrough. I think that would be really fun. So I might have to reach out to him for book club. Maybe pick a day where he doesn't have too much going on because Willow doesn't mind too much for our live stream. She's pretty good for the most part. And I think if I can keep her occupied, that could be really fun. Speaking of guest appearances, I will be going on Fire on Friday to talk costumes with Mandy and Aaron for Cursed, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if she's made that announcement yet, but oops, I did. So I'll have to go back through that show and watch some of that. I'm listening for future crafts. I think I missed my comment earlier about maybe my next week can show me. Wait. I think you missed my comment earlier about if maybe next week you can show us how to make masks. Oh yeah, no, that would be fun. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I have my printer up and working, so I will print out a couple different patterns, and then I will show you guys the one that I make all the time, which I actually prefer. And then I can show you different little tips and tricks and stuff on like ear bands and stuff. Yeah, definitely. I actually have quite a bit of mask material stuff I have left, and I wanted to make some stuff up and donate. So that would be perfect. Yeah, maybe after the stream, Amanda, remind me, and I will definitely go ahead and post on there. I'll make an event for it. And yeah, I'll definitely show masks since you know, the situation's not going anywhere. We're all stuck in it for a while. So we might as well have something to do while we're there, right? So, yeah. So this is all pinned and ready to be sewn. I was just trimming off some of my serged clippings. Make it a little easier. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna walk us back over to my sewing machine and definitely go through. Kyle is doing Witcher Book Club too, and he is doing it with guests, so I'm sure he will be pleased to do. Maybe, you know, Kyle and I are on friendly terms, so maybe I'll talk to him about it. I didn't realize he was doing book club, so yeah, I don't want to take that away from him. So yeah, I'll definitely reach out. I know there were so many of us doing it for Game of Thrones, so you can't really, you know, go too far there. But I don't like stepping on any toes, so maybe I'll reach out and we'll figure something out. Thank you, Tinkerbell. That's awesome. All right. Okay, scoot you guys back a little bit. So really quickly, one of my tips when you're not sure if a side is gonna line up. So like here, I have it pinned pretty well, but it doesn't really match up here in the armpit area. And if I wanted it to be a little extra, like if it didn't meet up, I wanted it to be in the armpit. So I will sew from the bottom to the end where I want it to end in the armpit, because I know that this right here has to meet up and be 100% even. And I'll do that on both sides. You got it. You look so pretty. Thanks, Amanda. I feel really good today, so that's probably part of it. And I didn't work too hard on my makeup. I like literally did just a barely lotion, foundation, eyeliner, mascara, and a little bit of eyebrow. So maybe it's just because I'm happy today. I don't know. But thank you. All right. So I know it's a little bright down there. Is that better? Yeah, you guys can see that better. I'll keep the light off so you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. I wish I had a Zoom, but we're using my laptop, so I'm not too fancy yet. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and get to sewing. For just a little bit. With all my cords, if I don't get tangled first. All right. This is also part of why I wanted my sewing machine right here by my window, so I'd have some natural light if I needed to turn the light off. Little pro tip. All right. So on my machine, I have some red thread because I wasn't necessarily going to serge it, but you know, we decided to serge it, so go from there. And then because I don't want too much of a seam, I'm probably going to just keep it the same width of a presser foot, which is a little less than a quarter, sometimes a quarter. see. Light off is better because you need. You know what's funny, Amanda, is that this isn't even fast with a Juki. I think it has the capability of doing 1,300 stitches in a minute. So that's the anxious part. You got, if one of these days, maybe I'll record just a little bit of how work sounds when they're sewing, because those sergers go like, I want to say like 20 miles an hour. They go really fast and it sounds really fast. And because I'm sewing covers and stuff that I know really well, I sew a little faster on those too. It gets crazy. Oh, and especially when I show you the masks next week, I sew really, really fast on those. But I do it all the time, so it makes it a little less stressful. There we go. There, that's a little faster. Just for you, Amanda. All right, so those are the side seams. So I can stand up now and show you guys that I pretty much have a shawl done, or an overshirt, or whatever you guys want to call it. And all I have to do is take this and sew it down. And then I would have a seam. That's the cool part too about serging. So what I will do, and I'll use a pin to show you where I'm going to sew. I'm just going to fold this. I don't want to do any more. And I'm going to put it right there. And I'm literally going to sew right where that pin is. That's all I'm going to do. So then I'm not taking up any more of that or anything. It doesn't bunch. And then I have a really nice guide to show what I'm doing. So that didn't take me very long at all. Most of it was me talking. So probably, what, 30 minutes so far, guys? So I'm going to put actually, I know where I can put you. I know we just walked, I'm sorry. But I always forget I have her. I can show you. Let me lower her a little bit. Better? Yeah. A little better. So ta-da! Let me raise her a little bit. There we go. That's better. What? There we go. See? And like Amanda was saying, it's not pink. Honestly, it's not pink. It's maroon. It's the lighting. You can put a belt on it. See? Super cute. I want one so bad now. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want, Amanda. You already know that. Yeah, I can find some really fun colors, and definitely. I really think that I'll probably put those on my Patreon, and I'll start making those because it's a lot of fun and it's really easy and really fast. Getting a phone call. That would make an excellent lingerie. Yeah, I really like this material. At first, I was kind of put off because it looks like, when you actually look at it, let me see, you can tell here. Yeah, see the way the weave on it looks more like really thin, athletic, like basketball shorts like that material. It really looks like that, but really thin when it's all like put together. Let me see if I can, if you can see, if you can tell. Yeah, when it's all together. But then when I took it apart, I was very happy. And I have an extra set. I'm going to make Willow a little one because she wants to match mommy. So I'm really excited. And then I have a really cool floral one. Where is that material? Hold on. I haven't decided how I want to cut it, but I have this beautiful floral one. You can't really tell because the light in the back, so let's see. Oh, oops. Apparently my no, that's awful cool. My iron decided to go on. Okay, but it wasn't hot, so thank God. Okay, so I'll turn you guys this way. Out of the light. Okay, that's better. Let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that down. Willow says she has to have a flower one. So now that looks like I have 6 chins. There we go. Looks lovely. It really is. Thank you, Tinkerbell. That really is. I got that at Walmart $2 for 2 yards. They do like pre-cuts now. So whenever I can find a cute shear or something, because like I said, I love to wear those in the summer. I grab them. Oh, see, she looks really good from far away too. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab it and we'll do the hem and then it'll be done. So that was us for today. It's really exciting. So I guess we could talk about next week real quick because I don't think I'm gonna finish sewing that right now on camera. But I will show you guys the end results. I'll take some pictures on her, on my mannequin. That's like probably my favorite thing I got from school besides my sewing machine is my body form. They are expensive, and if it gets lumped in with my student loans, so be it, because if you don't have one and you're making clothing, it's silly to me. I do have dress mannequins, which is different than a body form. Dress mannequins are just to show your clothing off, and a body form truly helps you to size and make patterns and do things like that. But yeah, so if I can find some more of that material, I definitely can make some other cool stuff. But yeah, so let's talk about next week, or not even next week. So I will do another stream probably on Wednesday to gear up for Thursday. I'm trying to do these every Wednesday and Sunday, my live streams, because that's a good half part of the week. We can do like more geeky stuff, I think, on Sundays, just because that's normal. And then Wednesdays, we can kind of just do a general chat. It doesn't have to be too long. But yeah, no, I look forward to these. These are not too hard. And like I said, I don't have to edit as much. So lives are just a lot easier for me. But I'm very excited, like doing all of this with you guys, even if it's 2 people or if it's 50 people or if it's 1,000 people, it just really, you guys have kind of brought me back to my love for this. And I'm very excited to do some content for you guys. Like I said, the script's pretty much already written. I kind of already know what I want to do for the artwork. If this wasn't a rewatch, I would just tell the 3 of you that are in here with me right now what we're doing. Like, I'm just really excited. Amanda knows, and she's really excited. But I'm gonna do an artwork piece instead of a cosplay for this character, because this character really doesn't have too many belongings. He, yeah. He's very lone wolf, if you guys can glean from that. Let's see, I've said lunar and the moon and wolf in the same episode. So maybe you guys can glean who it is. It's pretty obvious at this point. But yeah, I'm doing artwork for it. And I haven't decided what yet. I probably will use my really nice bristle paper, which is a really good strong paper, and I'm gonna make it interactive, if you will. I'm really excited. I just have to make sure I have the paint colors for it, which I'm pretty sure I do. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that and put it at the end of the video. I'm very excited for you guys. And then part of that Patreon is every other month I want to do a giveaway for you guys, some kind of giveaway where you guys enter and I pick a person and give you whatever I make. So like maybe it'll be the revolving month. So like next month I would do a raffle for the Harry Potter month stuff, and then ongoing from there. Because I just really don't hold on to things, and if I can share them with people, I will. And it's exciting. So it kind of gives me more of a challenge too, especially if it's like a dress or a clothing or something like that. I really want to make it as interactive as possible for you guys. And since I'm not just a sewer, I craft everything. I think it's really fun because you don't know what we're going to do yet until I release the video. So I definitely want to make that a part of my Patreon. I have a lot of big ideas. It's just growing the channel to make it happen. Because like I said, as much as I would do a lot of this anyways, some of the more intricate things, like like the Ahsoka Tano, I wanted to do that for Willow anyways, but it was quite a lot of money to invest into it. And though I would try to do that as much on my own, that's what I'm using the Patreon for. So just to be very transparent with you guys, the Patreon is to just help fund some of these projects, to buy the supplies. And then since you guys are helping me buy the supplies, I want to give them back to you. Especially since, if I'm not going to keep it or hold on to it very long, I don't want to, just keep it to myself. You guys are funding it. So if I can give it back to you guys, for sure, it's just kind of like an exchange of sorts. So coming up, I want to do some things like I want a Firefly month. I want maybe like a Ninja Turtles month, or a DC month, or a Marvel month. I want October is my music month. And I will probably do October is my music month. So the reason why October is already called my music month is because that October is my dad's month. So he was born on the 19th, and I celebrate his birthday, and then it's Halloween. And so since he loved music and all of that, I want to make it my music month. So it will be a range of different characters. So I will probably do the Crow for one, because he was a musician and then turned into the not superhero, but the cool guy that he is. And then I'll probably do I want to do a person. I want to do how James Gunn does his stories through music. He was a musician in college, and toured for a while, though it wasn't his passion. That's what some of the things he did. So I want to do that for October, but the rest of the year is up in the air for you guys. I'm really wanting to keep what you guys in mind. And yeah, no, definitely. Actually, Amanda, I was planning on that for February, regardless if it got voted, just because of Tuxedo Mask, and he does the roses. So I thought it was very fitting for February to do Sailor Moon as one of those. Also too, because then I can do a sailor cosplay. It might not be 100% accurate, and I'll try to get it as best as possible for you, Amanda. I will probably be asking you a lot of questions, but I definitely want to do something. Most of the cosplays, if I don't do it for a person like I have in mind for like a full scale, my model's a size 8. So if you guys want to be able to wear and enter those contests and get those costumes, size 8 is what I have. But if you have little ones, it might be easier because I tend to make things Willow size because it's cheaper in general. I don't have to buy as much material. I can have a little mini model. We can take pictures and stuff like that, and go from there. So yeah, those are kind of my ideas in the works. So what we have to do in our group on Facebook is do a poll for book club and start a poll for what you guys want to see and in which months. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll probably just do a general poll of what you guys want to see me do on the channel, and then maybe try to correspond per month. So whatever gets the highest views, then I'll go, okay, we're doing this topic, which month? Maybe something like that. I don't know. That's probably making it too complicated, but yes, you're definitely a Sailor Moon expert, Amanda. I used to be back in the day, and then I didn't get past the little animated series they had on, I think it was WB played it for a while. My dad would record it for my sister and I, and we would watch it all the time. And then we had the movies. But this was in like early thousands. So I haven't really delved into it more than that. My sister has, and she loves it. And so is my sister Brandy and my niece Summer. Summer is in love. I mean, in love with Sailor Moon. Her and her mom were going to do a mother-daughter cosplay, if you could guess, where Brandy would be Sailor Moon. But, and then my sister actually wanted to name her cat Luna. She has a black cat, but it was Lana, because originally we were going to give the cat away to a friend, but she couldn't take it. She named her Lana after Lana from Smallville, and my sister wanted to name her Luna because of Sailor Moon. It didn't go that way, but yeah. Now that I'm older, definitely I will probably watch through with the subtitles, because I can, though I might do 2 watchings, one for myself in the dubbed and one with the American voices for Willow, because she can't read yet. So I know she will fall head over heels for it, and I don't want to take it away from her, if that makes sense. So we might just watch it in the English version, and then when she gets a little older, we watch it with the subtitles. Yeah. I know what you mean, Amanda. Justin feels the same way about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. He prefers with the subtitles. So yeah, definitely. I think that's gonna do it, because we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I will get to sewing on that. So as soon as I'm done here, I will sew the edges, and I will God help your ears for the English. Hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I keep losing my train of thought. It's getting close to time for a nap, but it's almost 2 o'clock here. That's why I say that. So yeah, if you guys come up with any ideas, definitely let me know in our group. You can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, Patreon, and on YouTube. Close Encounters of a Geek Mind for all of it. And yeah, if you guys ever want to email me, encountersofageekmind@gmail.com. Definitely send over anything you guys might have or want me to talk about. If you guys want to chat just in general, definitely. You can always find me on Facebook under Ellen Hudson. And I also have Ellie is Bananas on Instagram as my personal. But yeah, just Close Encounters of a Geek Mind, whether Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I will see you soon. Thanks for sharing almost 2 hours with me, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.